finally got to get back to doing some videoing. The weather here has just been terrible the last couple of days. Let's see, today is Monday, and we took off yesterday. It was raining. We went to church, and actually went to the movies and seen that new movie, The Forge, that come out. That's a real good movie. Any of you that's interested, that'd be a real good thing, especially for you men. That movie's a real good deal. Let's see, so we started them Saturday before last. We worked on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then we had to take off Friday because of hurricane or tropical storm Helene coming through. And most of the bad weather went to the east of us, y'all. We missed it. For those of you that's been asking, thank you. I appreciate that. We just got some much needed rain here. But I want to bring you up to date on the colts and what we're doing now. So in the last video, we was working on go and whoa and bridle wise, stepping around, turning and whatnot. And the reason I wanted to get them to where they would whoa and stand still is because of this next deal that we're going to do. And the next deal that we're going to be doing is going to be hitching out here in the wide open. In other words, we're not tied to a tree anymore. We're just going to be out here in the wide open. Now Saturday, I didn't get to work on Friday because of the weather. Saturday, I did get to work on, but it was nasty, y'all, and it was raining. Wind was blowing. I tried to make a video for you, and it just didn't work out the way I wanted to. I did start on going across the tongue, but I didn't do very much because I wanted to save that so y'all could see it, okay? So we ground drove very little, and we crossed the tongue very little. We're going to do it again today. They're going to be rusty. They're not going to do it, you know, smooth and whatnot. But I want to show you so that way, as we progress, you can see how things change. I want you to see how they go in the beginning, and then later on, I'll show you how they go later. Today, I want to show you a few things, though. I want to show you how to set the parking brake on a pair of mules or a pair of horses, okay? This cart that I have, it doesn't have brakes. And to me, brakes on a 4-cart is pointless, y'all. I went and got a load of corn one time with 4 draft horses and a 4-cart with a gravity wagon hooked behind it. I was coming back home, started down a little hill, and the gravity wagon got to pushing me a little bit. I hit the brakes on the 4-cart and it just slid sideways. I let off the brakes and held the horses back, and the horses held the wagon, no problem. So, with that being said, brakes on a 4-cart to me is useless. However, these mules do have a parking brake, and I'm going to show you how to set it right here, right now. Okay, so I got to be careful talking because they're getting used to my voice and stepping off and whatnot. But here's the general idea. Here's my lines. You see I got them tied back to the post on the 4-cart, and I got them all wadded up here. That's not good. Let me straighten them just a little. Make it look kind of halfway presentable. Okay, so my lines is tied back on my 4-cart. Y'all got that much, right? Right. All right, now look at their single trees. Look, I got the inside trace chains dropped. You see their trace chains? Right up in there. See how they're hanging down, hitting the ground? Okay, her single tree is swung sideways. Her single tree is swung sideways. However, the outsides are still hooked, okay? And that'll keep them from spreading their butts out and getting, you know, out around on you and kind of swapping ends. We don't want that. With that being said, though, with those inside trace chains dropped and the lines tied back, if they should step off and try to pull, they're going to have to pull these 2 tires with their mouth, and they're just not going to be too willing to do that, okay? So that's how you set the parking brake on a pair of horses or a pair of mules. Now to do that, y'all, you can't do it with an empty 4-cart. That just ain't gonna work, because they can pull that 4-cart with their mouth, no problem. Okay, you got to have an anchor point like these tires here. And while I'm at it, I want to tell y'all, I went back and did some more figuring on these tires and the mules, and I want to give you some more accurate weights. These tires are actually right around 800 pounds together. I was thinking it was a little bit more, but they're actually 800 pounds between the 2 of them. Okay, and my mules are right around 1,050, 1,100. That's where they're at right now. So 30% of their body weight is a good starting place. And again, if it's too much, they'll be humped up trying to pull And then if it's not enough, they'll be, you know, not getting wore down and walking fast. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll into unhitching them and driving across the tongue. So let me go get Marcy. She can help us right quick. And y'all can see us do this a few times. All right, y'all. So I've showed you how to set the parking brake on these things. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take them loose from this cart and ground drive them a little bit and re-hitch them. And then after that, I'm going to show y'all some things with the GoPro that I've been working on while they're working, okay? So let's get them loose from this cart first. Now, I've got my lines tied back right here. That makes sense, right? They can't go nowhere unless they pull this cart with their mouth and these tires. Having these lines tied back is the same exact thing as having a man sitting here holding them for me. Same thing. But I want to caution you, you cannot do this with an empty cart or an empty wagon. Now, if you got a great big old wagon and it's got good brakes, then yeah, the same principle would apply. But if you've got some dragging weight behind a cart, this is the best way to train them to do this maneuver. Now, this ain't something we just done willy-nilly. Okay, I want to explain that to you. In the last video, we was working woe and go and bridle wise and whatnot, and I've been letting them stand. And they've been getting good at standing. They really have. You see how quiet they are now, other than May chomping her bit. But she'll get over that in a little while. I've been practicing letting them stand. Shoot fire, I'll stop them, tie them up right here to the cart. I'll go up there at the barn and get me a glass of tea or something, you know. So they've been getting a little practice standing. This ain't something we just started. You know, we missed a few days working because of the weather. A couple days working, actually, Sunday and Friday. But the rest of the days we've been working. And we've been working on what I showed you. This is something new that we're going to introduce, so I wanted to bring you along for that. Okay, so we're going to unhitch them, ground drive them across the tongue a few times, and then we'll re-hitch them. So, first thing I need to do, I'm going to get her traces loose. Got to undo their traces first, that's important. When you're unhooking, always take the trace chains first loose. Take the trace chains loose first. And then when you're re-hooking, hook the breast yoke in first. Unhooking, trace chains first, breast yoke second. Hooking, breast yoke first, trace chains second. All right, I've already got their chains tied up in the middle. I've also got a strap between their breeching, okay? That'll keep them from turning inside out. Y'all, you do not want these mules turning inside out and facing you. That is not a good feeling when you're standing there holding a set of drive lines and looking at a pair of mule heads. That ain't good. We have got a problem. And it can be a real big problem. So, I've got my butt strap in there because I had a cotton rope that I used for this, but Sarah Beth has obviously been playing with it and has misplaced it somewhere. So, I got to get another rope. But I do want to tell y'all about the rope. The best way to tie their butts together when you're ground driving them, in the beginning especially, now a butt strap, you know, a little strap between the breeching's fine when you got a broke team. But when they're green, the best way to do it is take a cotton rope, tie it in the hame ring up here on the lead animal, run it down her harness, weave it through her breeching, across behind them, and then weave it through her breeching, you know, under their tails, naturally, and go up the side of her harness, up to her hame ring and tie it off. And then that way you got them caught, you know, captured with that rope. Instead of using the strap and the breeching to hold them, you got that rope on the outside of them. And the breeching and the harness, you know, if you weave it through there, it'll hold that rope up and keep it from rubbing on them when you're working them. Okay? So let me go over here and get her harness loose. Her trace chain. Now again, the cart's got my lines, and I've done already worked these mules today, so they're a little bit tired. They're a little more willing to stand right now. Remember, making the wrong thing, or making the right thing easy, and making the wrong thing hard. They like standing now. They're getting used to it. They're really starting to dig it. All right, so now I'm gonna take the breast yoke loose. Now, I know y'all seen them move. I moved them. I made them step forward a little bit and get a little pressure off this breast yoke. They didn't do that on their own. I did it for them because I want them to get some pressure off this breast yoke, okay? Now again, like I told y'all with everything else that we've done, I'm not going to get in a hurry to just drive them away. See how they're willing to stand here? They ain't getting excited. You know, even though I'm talking to y'all, they're still not excited about it. So they're willing to stand here, which is good. And I'm going to let them get used to that. The more, the better. Stand up a little, just a little. Whoa, whoa. I'm going to show y'all some more of what I just done with the GoPro, and I'll explain my theories behind that. I like them to stay up in the harness. I don't like them to keep backing up toward the cart and backing the cart up on the tire and all that mess. But I'll tell y'all that in a little bit. We'll get to that in the GoPro footage. So I'm gonna get my lines. I'm gonna put them around my neck up here just so I can get all the slack out. So there's a lot of slack in my lines, and I want to be up close to my team. The main thing when ground driving a team is to stay behind the team. If the team starts turning, get behind them. Don't turn them from the side like this or like that. Stay in line with the team. As the team swings, you swing with them. Okay? So I'm going to get up here short where I can control them real good. All right. Now, they don't know a whole lot about this. I have ground drove them, but not much. They're still learning. And again, they're a little tired. They got the edge off. Notice how I'm staying behind them. All right. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoa. Now I'm just going to let them come on around hall, and we'll just swing them right on around and let them try again. All right. Show that tongue. Whoa, whoa. Now, one thing you may need you a stick. Now, I don't like using a whip. Some people ask me, Zach, why don't you just use a whip? Well, I don't like a whip. And the reason why, because you know it's got that little floppy thing on the end, and it'll make a sound whenever you swing it. If I'm intending to bump her, a whip will startle her. Okay? Or I can take this thing right here and tap her and make her go on, or I can tap her and make her go on, or I can poke her and make her go on, and it doesn't disturb the other one. Does that make sense? All right, so keep you a stick and just drive them across the tongue, back and forth. Go out there and turn them around, come back across, turn them around, go back across. That's all you want to do in the beginning. You want to stay kind of close to your team. You'll have a little bit better control over your team staying close to them. All right. Oh, now see how they're going sideways and all that mess? See, they're still wanting to go sideways. That's all right. I'll just use that to my advantage and teach them how to sidestep. Come here. And I'll just swing them another direction until they go on across. They're not going to do it pretty in the beginning. Whoa. Whoa. Come here. Come here, Hawk. All right, get across there now. If they won't go, tap them on the butt and make them go. Whoa. All right, now come here, G. All right, let's go. Cross there now. Now this is a very important step. Get them across that tongue and stop them, and just let them stand there. Most of the time in the very beginning, you're going to have to insist that they go across that tongue. I had to do that Saturday. I'm sorry I couldn't bring y'all along for that. The weather was just terrible, y'all. I just couldn't get no footage. But what I did is when they came up here to the tongue and they resisted, I just pop, 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 pop until they went on across. You know, just pop, 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 pop. They'll go on across, and then when they do, they'll go fast the first few times. They'll kind of jump across it, all right? Maintain your control over them. Don't get excited. Go out there and turn them around, come back, do it again. Turn around, come back, do it again. You may cross this tongue 50 times before you ever even attempt to hitch. No lie, 50 times, y'all. My wife can attest to that. I'll wear them plumb out just doing this little exercise. This is an important exercise because I want to start hitching up in the yard to go down the road. I want to start hitching to the cart, to the log cart, to the log wagon, to the mowing machine. I plan on cutting this pasture off. We're going to clip it off before the winter. And I'm going to use these two girls right here probably later this week, Lord willing. If they keep progressing, later this week we're going to put them on the mower and mow this pasture off, okay? But they got to know how to hitch first before we move to the mower. When I get them on the mower, that's going to help them get broke to sound, vibrations, noise. I'm also going to get the kids to come down with the four-wheeler and ride around them and try to scare them. You know, we want all that. I'll get them to do the four-wheeler with this cart and these tires. Then I ain't got to worry about tearing nothing up. Get them desensitized to traffic a little bit. We'll carry them down here and go down this side road at the school right here by the house. I'll get my wife Marcy to bring my car down there and drive around them and blow the horn, because you're always going to have some idiot on the highway if you're wagon riding or something. You're always going to have that one idiot that's going to come by you and blow the horn and try to spook your team. So it's best just to go ahead when they're young, to go ahead and get them broke to it right in the beginning and not worry about it. Okay? So now that they've stood on the tongue, let's go across and we'll come back the other direction. I'll try to attempt to stop them over the tongue going the other way. All right, okay, Dallas, or June, May, come here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I ain't gonna try to ask for no more than that. It ain't good, but it ain't bad. I mean, for a pair of 2-year-old colts that ain't never done it before, it ain't bad. And they'll get smoother from here. Y'all, they ain't got nowhere to go but up. They're just gonna get better every day. But this is in the beginning stages. Y'all only missed one time of me hitching them in the wide open. Once. This is their second time doing this. Okay? So, like I said, the only thing that you miss is the very first time making them cross the tongue. And then you got to just use your stick and just kind of, you know, keep their mind focused going that way over the tongue. And just kind of tap them on the butt. You ain't got to get rough with them. You ain't got to beat them. Just take your stick and tap them on the hind end and make them go on across the tongue. Be ready for whenever they do cross the tongue, they'll do it pretty drastically, if that makes any sense. Now I'm going to show you the next part of it. We're going to go out here and turn around and come back, and as soon as they cross the tongue, I'm going to swing them in line with the tongue. That's the next step in this equation. You want to do that from both sides. You want to bring them in from this side, cross the tongue, turn them 90 degrees, and line up with the tongue. Walk away, come around to this side, step them across the tongue, turn 90 degrees, and line them up with the tongue. So that's what we're going to do next, and then we're going to hitch them back and go on and do our GoPro footage, okay? All right, Mike, you. See, I didn't hit them hard. Whoop, whoop. Come here. Come here. Whoop. All right, so they don't want to turn that good to the right, so I'll just swing them to the left. Come here. Y'all get good for going both ways here in a minute. When I drive them enough. All right. All right, you. Whoa. Now, she's a little bit straddle of the tongue. That is okay, y'all. You got to take what you can get in the very beginning. Don't expect too much too fast. Just don't get in a hurry. Take your time. If you're not comfortable doing this on week 1, hey, keep hitching them to the tree. Keep driving them and get that solid whoa that you want until you feel good about it, and then do it, okay? All right, Mike, you. Here. Oh. Whoop, whoop, Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, they're too far forward. That's the thing. They're too far forward on the tongue. I want them to cross and turn right around, right into position. That'd be perfect. But this is the starting. This is how we're going to start them. Now, I'm not going to back them up into position. I'm just going to redo it until I get it like I want it, okay? I'm not going to get them in the habit of, you know, getting way out there on the end of the tongue and then backing them in. That's not my thing. So I'm going to start them up and go come around here and we'll do it one more time. All right, Mike, you. Get up there. Whoa. Yeah, ain't gonna work that time either. We'll do it one more time. They'll give me one in a minute. Whoa, whoa. All right, we'll go from the other side. Come here. Come here, G. Whoa. Now, that's more than my liking. That's all right there. They're still a little bit far forward, but that's a lot better than it was. So, yeah, they cross better from the right to left, but guess what? We're gonna do a whole lot of crossing from left to right. From right to left, they do pretty good, but from left to right, they don't. So guess what we're gonna work on a lot? Now, I'll put my stick back on my cart because I don't need it anymore. Get my lines kind of even. The cart's got the lines. That's just like a man standing there holding them for me. And again, for the love of God, listen to me. This is not something I just done willy-nilly. These mules are already learning how to stand before I ever started this exercise. That's why I was practicing the whoa and go in the previous videos. Watch all these videos leading into the other because we're going to be adding new stuff. But we're not going to add new stuff until they can get this part down because it's building blocks, y'all. It takes one block to make the next block to make the next block, okay? Remember, when you're hitching, you hitch the front end first, the breast yoke. See how she ain't even hardly worried about me being behind her anymore now. This is June, y'all. I'm not worried about being behind her. Look at her. She's a whole lot better. You know why she's better? Because she ain't worried about me being behind her no more. She's worried more about sucking air than she is me. I'm gonna hook her inside trace chain first just so I can get out of the way. All right. See that? Remember what I told you about them getting in? I told y'all that in the first video about how they get better about giving them that leg pressure and getting in. She's got a little bit of a skint mark on her leg. It ain't bad at all. She's learning to stay off these traces. May, she rubbed her leg a little bit, but she's starting to get better because she's learning to stay off the traces. What that means, y'all, is they're learning to yield to that pressure. When they feel them trace chains, they'll move their legs out of the way and get off of it. All right, I'm gonna go over and hook hers. Hook her inside first, because then I can back out of here if something happens, you see? If I hook the outside first, I don't have that same mobility. And she's not lined up good with the cart either, so let me pull her in. Straighten up, mate. Whoa. Now see how easy that was? Y'all, I've worked these colts for 1 week. You see how easy they're minding me? 1 week, y'all. They ain't gonna do nothing but get better. Now, I'm ready to go. I am, okay? But, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna set their parking brake. Like I showed you, I'm gonna set their parking brake. Just sit here and jaw with y'all just a minute. And the next part of the video, I'm gonna show y'all some GoPro footage of a few other things that I've been working on with these mules in the first week. Things that are habit forming, that if you don't take care of, it'll become habit, okay? So I wanna show you that with the GoPro footage. Now, y'all, the first thing I wanna tell you about that I've been working on these colts with, and I wanna show y'all right now, because now's a good time. Look down there at the double tree. You see how May's side is set back toward us? Okay? And you see how she's back here behind June? All right? I don't like that. And I don't want that. So, this is one thing I've been doing, and I've been working with them. I take my stick, and I just kind of poke her a little bit, make her step up there with June. All right? Because I want them to be up there even when they start. Because if they don't, then she's got to make 2 steps just to get up there where she needs to be before she can start, okay? So, that's one thing I've been working on, is when I tell them whoa, and I let them rest, I'll sit here with my stick like this right here, and when she backs up, I'll poke her a little bit. That's another reason I like using a stick versus a whip, because if you were to pop her with that whip, it's going to scare June and make her run, or make her take off, you know. We don't want to do that. If you use a stick, you can just poke them, and it don't get nobody upset. All right, so let's get them started here. All right, May, June, come here. Alrighty. Now, they started pretty good that time together. That's another thing I've been working on. You know, they're gonna have to learn, if they're gonna pull big loads, they've got to go together. They've got to keep that double tree down there level, and they've got to pull together every step. Because if they don't, they're not gonna move these big loads, y'all. And in the beginning, we're just gonna be pulling tie logs. And I apologize about it getting dark. We're starting to lose daylight here, and I didn't get off work till a little bit later today. So I do apologize, but I hope the video turns out enough where y'all can see what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so back to what we was doing here. I'm trying to keep them together. That's something I'm working on. I want them to stay even. The stay chains will accomplish that without me having to do a whole lot, but I want them to give to that bit pressure up there. So I don't let the stay chains do much work. The stay chains are just there to keep things from getting bent plumb out of proportion. You know, if one surges forward or whatnot, that's mainly what the stay chain's for. It's my job to use the lines. Stand up. It's my job to use the lines to keep them even. So that's one thing I've been working on. We've been doing a whole lot of stop and go. And we've been doing a whole lot of turning. Now I'm gonna take y'all back down here to the hill where we've been practicing at. I like letting them pull this low hill because we can make a real big figure 8 going down, make a turn to the left, come back up, make a turn to the right. And I like doing that. Plus it gives them a little bit harder pull coming back up. Again, when they start pulling the hill coming back, I don't like for them to run or charge or speed up to come back up the hill. It is easier for them to pull a load walking faster. Yeah, that's true. But I don't want them to be. I don't want it to be easier for them. I want them to walk like a broke pair of work mules ought to walk, or a pair of workhorses. I don't like mine to be charging ahead, because what that'll translate into is when you get in the woods and get them on a heavy log and they start pulling, they'll get plumb, you know, out of sight from you. You know, and you sitting there trying to drive them with a pair of drive lines, walking beside them or behind them or whatnot, and they start all that charging mess, it can be dangerous. You know, you can get your foot caught or your leg broke, you know, or something like that. So that's just something you don't want to do. And in the beginning, I'm gonna teach them from the very beginning not to do that kind of stuff. May, come here now. Stand up. Whenever she don't listen to me, I'll do that right there. I give her the chance to do the right thing and she didn't do it. Now come here, Haw. Come here, June. Haw. Stand up, May. Now my turns still ain't beautiful just yet. They're getting better, but they're not beautiful. May's still quiet, hadn't got the hang of it. Now she does better if I turn her Haw up here at the top of the hill versus going toward June. The turn will just turn out a lot smoother doing that. And you know, I could do that for y'all and y'all would be like, oh man, look at how he's got these mules doing. They're doing so good. Yeah, I could do that and I could fool y'all. And I can make y'all think that I've got them doing really super nice. But when the reality hits y'all, they're not doing super nice. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to show y'all the real faults and what I'm doing to fix them. Now we're going to turn toward June this first time, and I want y'all to notice the difference in the turn toward June up here at the top of the hill versus a turn toward May, because we're going to come back up here again and turn Haw in here in a minute. All right, get in there. All right, come here, May. Gee, May. Easy, June. June, easy. Easy does it now. Easy does it. Easy. Easy. Good girls. Good girls. They stay spread out. They slowed down in the turn. They stepped around. They did real nice. Now we're going to go down here, and we're going to go Haw down here, and then we're going to come back up here at the top of the hill, and I want y'all to see the difference in how June turns going downhill versus going uphill. I want you to see that because there is a difference. She turns better going uphill. She controls her rate of turn and keeps it moving in the turn better going uphill. And I want you to see that. I'm not here to cover nothing up, y'all. I told you I'd show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I promise you that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna take y'all along for the whole thing in this pair of mules. Y'all get to see start to finish, you know, the breaking process and getting them trained. Come here. All right, now Haw. Come here, Haw, June. June, Haw. Easy does it, May. May. See how May, she kind of wants to stop. She don't want to just keep walking. She kind of wants to stop and let the turn tighten up too much. And that ain't what we're wanting to do right now. Now that'll be a good deal later on, but not right now. Okay? So now we're gonna go up here and we're gonna do a turn going uphill, Haw, to the left toward June, or toward May, and I want y'all to see that. Come here, little Haw, or G. These days are getting short and we're running out of daylight to make good videos. I hope y'all can see and make it out though what we're doing. And y'all don't hold it against me on the daylight. I'll work these mules on into the night, you know, on after dark, especially whenever the time changes. I'll keep working on them even though it's dark. We'll go down here to school. There's a side road down there and we'll work on that side road where there's night light. Come here. All right, now Haw. Come here, June, Haw. Haw, Haw. Easy does it now. Keep it moving, Haw. Haw, Haw. Come here. Haw, May. May, Haw. Haw, Haw. Now, you might not be able to tell. It may just be something that I can tell. Y'all may not be able to tell on camera, and you may not have a keen enough eye to tell it, but I can. She turns better to the left going uphill than downhill. So that's some little nuances, you know, about training mules that you might notice. Now what we're gonna do is go around here, and I'm gonna give them a chance to stop. They pulled the hill a couple times and been walking a little bit, so I'm gonna give them a chance to stop. Whoa. Now, sometimes May does really good. June got wore down pretty good. She's just got it down, okay? I want May to back up one step, because I want her to be level and even with June. Whoa. All right, May, come here. Easy. Now that ain't the kind of start that I want. Whoa. So I'm gonna make them do it again. All right, May, June, come here. Easy. Now see how they're backing up and going sideways? We're not gonna start that crap. That's something I wanted to show y'all. We're not gonna do that, because what that'll do is that'll teach them to hit a load and run sideways. And we're not gonna do that. That's avoiding the load is what that is. I want them to pull off straight and get their butts down, squat, and pull that load straight forward. I don't want none of this sideways crap. So what I'm gonna do is get my stick, and whenever I call her name, I'm gonna pump them up on the butt a little. All right, May, June, come here. Now, see how they both kind of squatted that time? Next time they'll be a little bit more willing to go when I tell them to, but we ain't gonna start that sideways pulling crap, because that don't work. You ain't gonna handle the load doing it that way. All right, whoa. All right, May, June, come here. Now see, they're doing it again, and I'm not gonna have that. All right, May, come here. When I tell them to go, I mean get on with it, because one day that might mean the difference between me getting my foot broke and not getting my foot broke. It looks like I'm being hard on them, y'all, but it's not. It's just discipline. When I tell them to do something, they need to be doing it. Remember, I'm the boss man. They work for me. And when we get in the woods, they can't see things that I can see. So if I tell them to go, they need to be stepping. You know, they don't need to be none of that counting to 3 bull crap. And, you know, licking their lips and stomping their feet and twisting their ears and thinking about it. When I say go, I mean get on with it. And sometimes they'll do it real good, and then sometimes they don't. And that's just a sign of a young team that ain't been worked a whole lot. Okay? The more they work, the better they'll get, the more consistent they'll get. The idea of being broke, to me, is whenever you can go get them out of the pen fresh, and they'll walk off slow and easy. You can work them like you want to, slow and easy. They'll be calm and cool and laid back. You can hitch them, you can work them. They'll be consistent. They'll stop when you tell them to stop. They'll walk right and all that. And they'll do it consistently every single time right out of the gate. That is broke, in my opinion. And we still got a ways to go, y'all. But I just kind of wanted to show you what we've been doing and what I'm doing to fix it. You know, they've still got little nuances, just like them starting off together. They've got these little nuances about them that, you know, I've got to fix as we go along. And I can't let habits develop like what they were just doing about not wanting to pull and walk off together. That's a habit forming characteristic. If you let them start doing that, they'll keep doing it and they'll get worse. And we don't want that, especially for a logging team. You don't want it on any team, but I definitely don't want it on my logging team, because, you know, we're going to be pulling big loads, and they're going to have to learn how to pull together and pull straight off. And they're going to have to learn to mind me too. All right, whoa. Now, both of them stopped good that time. That's good, that's what I want. Whoa. And me talking is gonna mess them up just a little bit. Us out here by ourselves, they do a little bit better. You know, me sitting back here talking to y'all kind of jacks them up just a little. But I'm not making excuses for them. They're not broke. Kate and Alice, I can talk all day long. And when I call their name, they'll walk off because they know their names and they're broke. So I'm not making any excuses for these mules. they'll learn all this, and they'll listen to me, and they'll learn how to listen while I'm talking. Okay? Now, normally I would just let them stand here for a while and let them get their breath built back up. And I would just let them stand until they started fidgeting. And as soon as they started fidgeting, I'd step them off. Okay? That's how you teach them how to stand. I taught y'all that in the last video. But again, these are the finer points of driving. We're trying to get to the finer points of what we're doing now. We want to keep them together. We don't want them backing up. I haven't had as much trouble today with them backing up as I have been, but that's because I've been using this stick and I've been poking on them when they back up. Okay? All right, so let's get them to start again. All right, May, June. Now, they started a whole lot better that time. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely a whole lot better than they did before. So I think y'all get the idea of what we're doing. This is day number, let's see, I guess this will be day 9, I guess is what this will be. Like I said, we missed a couple training days. This will actually be, if you figured training days, this would be day 7, because I've lost 2 days due to the weather. And I'm not gonna keep up with the days per se. I'm just gonna tell y'all about how far in we are and give you an idea. But all these videos will be in the playlist on my YouTube channel. They're titled May and June Training Draft Mules. So if any of you is worried about missing one, you can go to that playlist and look at it, and I've got all the videos in that playlist. Also, I've got the numbers on the videos, like number 1, I think this video will be like number 150. The next video will be number 151. So y'all can go back and find them that way if you need to. Whoa, that's a pretty good whoa. That's what we want. Now I'm gonna give them just a second, let them stand here. I'm gonna make sure they ain't gonna back up on me. See, May's already start wanting to back up just a little bit, so I'm gonna put that stick up there right at her butt. And if she tries to back up again, I'm gonna put a little pressure on her just like that. Whoa. Whoop. I'm glad y'all got to see that, because that's what I'm doing right now. I don't want them backing up. I want them to hold this cart on this heel. And when I get the next one of the one of the next steps is going to be hitching them to the log wagon with a couple logs on it and just let them hold a load on the heel. Whoa, not a big load, but just a load. They need to learn how to stretch out and hold, hold a load on a heel. That's very important. Not to mention the fact that it sets them up, y'all, to pull. Whenever they walk off, they're already stretched out and they're ready to pull. Now, I don't know if y'all can see it, but up there on May's bit, I've got my G-string off of my one line going from her hame ring up to her right-hand bit ring. And the reason I got that chain on there is because she's been walking carrying her head out to the left. It could be that she's a little bit sore in her mouth. It could be the fact that she's just being a doofus and holding her head out to the outside. And what she'll do is when she holds her head out to the outside, and I try to put pressure on her, she'll crowd the tongue. She'll come over here and crowd the tongue to get off of that pressure. So what I've done is put that short chain from her hame ring up there to her to her bit ring to hold her head straight. She's got a little bit of leeway, where she can turn her head a little bit, but not very much. She can't swing her head all the way around. That's what I'm getting at. And that kind of helps keep her straight and makes her line out in the harness a little bit better. So that's one little trick thing that I've done too. All right, May, June, come here. That ain't a bad start. We'll take it. They'll get more consistent as time goes on, y'all. In a little while, they'll get to where they'll do it right every single time. And that's the sign that they're getting more broke. Right now, a person need not to expect them to do that every single time whenever they're just, a little over a week in. They're doing good, and I'm proud of them. But don't expect too much too soon. Now y'all, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've seen something that might help you and your mules, those of you that have mules and horses. I hope maybe something I've showed you here will help you. Above all, be careful. Just be careful. Because like I've told you in other videos, these things can hurt you, y'all, and they can hurt you bad. One other thing I want to tell y'all about was these tires and the mules. I did a little more closer figuring on the weights on these tires and the mules. My mules are 1,050 a piece right now, almost 1,100 pounds. These tires are running 800 pounds. Okay, so they're a little bit less than half of their body weight. 30% is a good place to start on loading these mules. And y'all, they can pull these 2 tires right here all afternoon. All afternoon. Now, the 2 tires do get their attention. But again, watch your mules. If you load them and they're humped up in the back and they're doing all they can to pull, that's too much weight, y'all. You want to work them down over a period of time. You don't want them bowed up. You know, that's just too much weight. Lighten them up a little bit, okay? Now, if you start working them and you got to hold them with the lines all the way back and they're just trying to trot the whole time, that's probably not enough. Now, you'll probably have to hold them in the very beginning. Yeah, that's true. But you shouldn't have to hold them very long. In a little while, you should be able to start slacking up on them lines and let that load hold them. And if you don't, then you probably ain't got enough weight. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you all are enjoying this video series that we're doing. I'm going to keep doing this video series for just a little while. We are going to head back to the woods here soon. Y'all just be patient with us on the woods deal. Those of you that are interested more in the logging and whatnot versus the training. But I've got to get these mules where they're safe enough to carry them to the woods, if that makes any sense. I work by myself. I don't want to get down there and get hurt or get one of them hurt. So I want to just take the time, take a little time off, dedicate just to breaking these mule colts. And they'll serve me well later on. So again, thank y'all for watching. Those of you that don't even care about training, you know, or mules or logging or whatnot, and y'all are just here to hang out to have a good time and enjoy the peace. Look, thank you, really. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. The ones of you that has asked about me and my family during these storms, I appreciate that. We're doing good. We just got some much needed rain. However, a lot of our neighbors east of us in East Tennessee and in North Carolina, South Carolina, over there where they all come together, where Hurricane Helene come up through there, y'all, it has created some kind of havoc. I mean, there is flooding. People are still missing. You know, kids, families. I heard a tale of one guy and his family that were camping at a park, and they got stranded on top of a mountain in that park because water was surrounded that peak, and they had to come in and get them with a helicopter. So y'all, the ones of you that pray, remember those families over there east of us in Appalachia. Remember them. My prayer list is getting longer by the day. Some of you has emailed me and told me things, you know, you want me to pray for. And look, I do, y'all. If you ask me to pray for you and you got a specific prayer request and you say, Zach, pray for me, I'm going to do it. I don't take this lightly. My love for Jesus and for y'all, it's right and it's true. And I'm going to pray for you, each and every one of you. The ones of you that are hearing my voice right now, I'm praying for you. And if you got something special you need me to pray about, send it to me. Email me. If you don't want to post it in the comments, it's more private, send it to me. If you don't even want to tell me what it's about, but you want me to pray for you specifically, you just email me and say, Zach, I can't tell you what it's about, but pray for me, and I will. I'm already praying for you anyway, but I'll pray specifically for you, my friend. Look, I love y'all. Thank you. Y'all take care. I'm going to put my email up here on the screen. Get up with me. Be glad to talk to you. I'll see you next time.